Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over Garage and what its current state is and also future plans for it over the next 6 months. So yeah, let's get into it. This is going to be overview of tools, space, what we do with it, all the stuff like that. Yeah, let's start with the Workbench. Cool, so this is one of our main Workbench spaces. As you can see, it's quite a mess, but we use a cutting mat for it. This is where we tend to do most of our soldering, cutting, and other things that also need power. So as you see, with our hot air airflow station goes right there. We have our soldering station, stuff like that. All lives in this space, mostly because this tabletop is pretty resilient. And also we have it close to power, which is way more important than our other spaces we'll get to, along with access to small hand tools, measuring equipment, and stuff like that, which is super, super important. To the left of that, we have a vise on a concrete base. It's great for any sort of metalworking we could do. We also use it to store our tape and whatnot. And then at the very bottom, we've got our scrap metal and welding clamps, along with a 12-volt battery for a car that goes in our van. To the left of that, we have this tool chest. We like to keep our stuff pretty labeled. We have most of our sockets, our wrenches, a bit of our screwdrivers. We have way more. And then we also use this as our charging station and spot where we keep our small bits and whatnot. So ratchet screwdrivers, charging, pencils, all of that stuff. This is not really an active workspace and more just storage space. To the left of that, we have storage rack number 1. At the very top, we have things we don't really touch in very large quantities. So we have our metal chop saw. It's very, very large, but we use it for cutting metal. We have a few tools and a lot of wire. We tend to get wire in bulk. So we have it there. We have more wire. We've put a threaded rod. Super, super great. You can grab your wire and boom, there you go. We also have it on this side too. It's super, super nice. Under here, we also have more charging equipment stations, along with our small tools, Dremels, hot glue guns, batteries, and all of our Dremel bits are in this section down there. There is a shelf. The shelf isn't very helpful, but it's there. Then here we have our electronics component storage and also small parts. So this container is almost exclusively screws and bolts and other, gas fittings, stuff like that. Then this organizer is all electronics components. These are all connector types. We have stepper motors, more electronics, a box of larger miscellaneous electronics. And this is all screws and grommets and other things for running electronics and making small 3D printed parts. Down here, we keep our chop saw and our propane in case we have to heat stuff up. And at the very, very bottom, we have our scroll saw and also our bulk hot glue down there to hold everything. Getting to the bigger picture, we have this amazing magnet wall. So as you can see, this wall is all metal. This is 22 gauge galvanized steel plating held up with 1.5 inch, I think 1/4 inch thick strapping. We got this from a local metal store in Oregon and ended up installing it as a little summer project. It's been super, super nice because we can put magnets on everything and not have to worry about anything coming off, all magnetic. Actually, sometimes too strong. You sometimes get things like this where the magnet's stuck on, but oh well. But it also means we can use these knife blocks. They're magnetic. Instead of having to just get them on the wall, just drop them there. You can put anything you want, along with hold all of our tools. And say we want to use our big old metal saw here, set on this table, plug it in right there. It can shoot sparks all day long with this, and there's not a worry in sight. It's also, if we grab an expo marker, which sadly doesn't look like there is any, you can use this as a whiteboard. Here's a great example. It's all erasable. If you need to, you have to get some water, but all works and is erasable. We also have some more wire here for prototyping, and then we have this big old toolbox here. This holds most of our other small tools, cutters and whatnot. We have all of our wrenches in this drawer. Then we have assorted air tools and whatnot, and then lots and lots of hex keys. Got to keep that, and then most of our hole saw bits, and then our larger power tools are kept down here. Under the main workbench we have our air compressor right there, along with an ozone generator and some storage for other things like batteries, fat mat, and some assorted tools. One of the future projects we're gonna do is get that air compressor located in our basement and then set up so that it turns on when we need it, not when we don't. Get it out of the way and make it also quieter so when it's on, it's not annoying. To the right, we're gonna start up top with our TV. We also have our sound system we talked about in the last video, built in, super cool. We have a big 55-inch TV, it's just 1080p. but we had a Chromecast on it, which means it's great for, oh, there's a sporting event on, we can watch it, work on a project, or just have something going when we're doing stuff. Not too bad. Then we have this shelf here. We have a Bamboo Labs P1P. This is a great 3D printer. It's my 15th 3D printer I've had. And I gotta say, it's certainly been my favorite. It just works like an appliance, and I think that's one of the big things that I've really valued recently. I've used to use everything from the ANET A8 to run MJF industrial 3D printers, and this just works the best out of all of them for getting what I need done quickly and repeatably, which is great. I can hit a print start and it'll just go. On the left of that, we have these cardboard boxes that were great for storage. And here we have a ton of ESP8266s, but we have also this storage for more basic items. But those boxes right there, works great. Has space for our 3D printing supplies. Below that, we have what are just more household supplies. There are PPE things like knee pads, gloves, and whatnot, but we just keep garbage bags and stuff for the house because on the back of our stairs is a door to our house. So it's all garbage bags, perfect. I guess we get another good peek down here. Mostly just bulk storage or storage of things we don't ever touch. So the very, very bottom, we got boxes and more boxes. Here with like traffic cones and things we get in bulk that we don't really touch on a regular basis, old projects and whatnot. In front of this, the reason we use this as old projects is we have our welding cart. There's a Millermatic 211 auto set welder. Works super, super well, gotta say, can't complain. On a big old cart, cart weighs a ton, super top heavy and frankly terribly designed. If I get some time, I'm gonna rebuild it, but have not. We also keep our 150 CFM bottle of argon, so we can, or argon CO2, so it's 75-25, as it says right there. So we can do welding. We currently don't have a welding table, but we've not found that as an issue, as most of the welding we do tends to be to make basic things like the stand in there. Going up, we have a top shelf. It's currently TBD. We were originally thinking about putting an air compressor up there, but realized we can just use it as storage for stuff we don't grab or like finished pieces of work. Currently there aren't much, but it's great for storing long stock in these angle brackets. So currently we just have long pieces of angle iron from assorted projects, along with our 1 meter T-square and our very big center square or speed square. T-square is great for any carpentry projects, get some angles, get some everything. Right now, cannot complain. Yeah, coming back to here, we have main workbench number 2. This is generally for assembly of other projects. It's a very, very large 3.5 by 6 foot table. It's also motorized, so it does go up and down. The one issue we've so far found is, well, there's no power to this section of the garage. The nearest power is that, which, well, it does work. Makes it a bit difficult to work on. We currently have tools under it that don't have a home in this bin, but it's quite nice to adjust height if we need to. You can plug it in temporarily, adjust the height, stays where it is. But yeah, mostly assembly for projects we're working on. A great example is we get all the parts out for working on our van and whatnot. And yeah, put it all there. Cool. More garage things we have. We have fridge and general household storage. A ton of race bibs from one of my family's run races in the past. A welcome to Dubtown sign that's a reference to Descend on Bend. Great time, great little sign. On this side of our garage, we keep all of our cleaning supplies, along with up here is all van parts, VW parts, Volkswagen Westfalia van parts. We keep our amp for our stereo system, along with some internet stuff as the internet comes to our house there. We have our outlet for our welder over here. More van parts, cleaning supplies, paint. Then on the wall we have, this is the welder extension cord we have. It's huge. Then behind that, I'll see if I can find the plug. We have the generator extension cord. So that's our big old generator on the outside of the house with generator hookup. Then we have just assorted hung up tools. Works really well. We have our lawnmower that fits right next to it. We have our wheel ramps for the van. And we finally have this brand new shelf here, which stores our fuel. There's a lot of it, probably should be separated, and along with a few other cleaners and whatnot and other things for our van. We keep our extension cords over here too, and there is 4 outlets, but more or less we don't have a ton of use for them over here at the moment, which is good. Going on to general facilities, we have originally just those 2 lights. We've added in these 2 light bars. They're on the same switch. It's super, super nice to have very good light. They're also super affordable and were super easy to install. We added in a extension cable on a reel, which is super nice. Our goal is to probably add another one over here by this light, so we can have better access to power for this table, and also add an air hose for the future, as it'll be really helpful. We also have a smart smoke alarm up there. I believe it's a Nest smart smoke alarm. Super, super nice to tell us what gases it's exiting, all of that stuff. We do have the center post, which is quite annoying to have, but it's there. And it's a perfect spot for our air mover. If we ever start a car in here, the smart smoke detector will go crazy. So we have the air mover to exhaust it on out. We also have this upper section right here. This is mostly just outdoor gear and sort of other things. As you can see, we like to keep things in 5-gallon buckets. Super nice storage, just label them. We have cooking supplies, sanding, painting, caulking, extra water, and other outdoor things. We also have all of our hats hung up, snowshoes, ropes, our electrical panel with generator labeling, super, super nice. And then a table here along with some plants in the window because we don't have a greenhouse at the moment. Yeah, so future projects we're gonna do. First, we wanna clean up this section. That's because this speaker's gonna go. We got new ones, don't need it. And figure out a better use for this space. We also want to figure out a use for this space. Currently we have bikes up here, which is great. I don't think we're not planning on moving them, but this up here is very open and empty. So one main thought we're having is a painting up here and the ceiling, which is a big project, but actually adding in an industrial air filter system that takes a fan, blows it through some HEPA filters that if we're in the garage making any kinds of dust, fumes, or whatever, we have a tiny bit more peace of mind that air is getting filtered and we're not breathing it in. The last thing to do is taking years off our life because we're breathing harmful things. We do, when we're making that, want to leave some space for possibly getting the garage door raised up. Because currently it goes to the top of the opening, but it takes about 2 inches off. And we have cars that are close to topping it, hitting that, and we'd like to have a bit more breathing room with that. We're going to extend that shelf over, mostly because we're going to have more storage for projects, parts, and whatnot. We haven't figured out quite our process, especially as that's really the extent of my reach is to get up here, and I'm 6'3", so anyone shorter than that will struggle. Yeah, we have a few more things we're gonna do, figure out this section a bit better. We wanna get some more power put in, as we said. We're gonna do air compressor in the basement. We're thinking about putting it under that platform, which would be pretty cool, and setting up a switch system somehow. That's still TBD. We also want to get better lighting back there and make this space generally more usable by putting in more tables, getting better spots for this, mounts for that, and whatnot. We do have to keep this bay open right now because it does have to have a car in it most of the time, and we like to keep this space open. But there is talk of possibly getting a plasma table or bringing back in a drill press that we currently have stored at family's house. Because those are 2 tools that we think are very useful in the near future, and there's not quite space for it over here. Anyways, let's get back to seeing me. Anyways, that was a basic little shop tour. There's not too much going on, but also want to show off the current basic state so we can look back and see how do we improve, how do we change, what do we do over the next few months. As I said, we got a lot of growth coming, and there's gonna be some projects going on here. Hopefully getting things like this, power fixed, getting this table to actually raise and lower all the time, or figuring out what we're gonna do with this space and cleaning stuff up and whatnot. You already saw we put in the speakers. That's a great start. We're gonna have stuff like that come all the time, organizing, making stuff better, and making this a more functional space. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you like this video, we got other videos too. I'll be making more of these. Anyways, see you in the next one.